The Jimmy Butler saga is officially over. Jimmy Butler has been traded to the Golden State Warriors from the Miami Heat. The Heat are receiving Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroder, or I guess Dennis Schroeder's going to the Jazz. Kyle Anderson's going to the Heat, but the Heat are going to try to move him again, and the Heat are also getting a protected first-round pick. PJ Tucker also headed to the Heat. The Pistons are getting the Warriors' Lindy Waters III, and they're getting the Heat's Josh Richardson as well. Just some salary stuff there just to make things a little bit easier on the trade. I think this is a good trade for both teams. I think both teams accomplished the thing that they wanted to do. And I appreciate both teams using logic in this whole entire thing. Let's start with the Miami Heat. They get rid of a nuisance that is Jimmy Butler, who had grown unhappy, because that's what Jimmy Butler does. He shows up somewhere, he's there for 5 years at most, and he's like, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. He just kind of wears on people, and he just is ready to leave, which is fine. Like, that's just how some people are. And for the Heat, there was a clear shift this year, right? They were running more of the offense, especially late in games, through Tyler Hero, who's a first-time All-Star. Bam Adebayo has clearly been a piece that they've tried to build around a little bit. Great defender. Good offensive player, not a great one. So they're trying to retool and kind of, rebuild's not the right word, but they're trying to build a contender around those two guys. And I feel like they've taken steps towards doing that. They bring in a guy in Andrew Wiggins, who I think is going to fit in really nicely. He shoots the ball better than Jimmy Butler. He's younger, so he fits that Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo timeline better than Jimmy Butler did. He's a solid defender, can defend multiple positions if you need him to. And if Tyler Hero's off the floor and they need a guy who can create on the ball, he can do that. So, good pickup there, right? They're going to move Kyle Anderson and probably get a couple other things in addition to that, probably nothing crazy. But they also get this first-round pick that if it lands somewhere between 11 and 18, then they're going to be able to add another good piece because they're the Miami Heat, and they just kind of always seem to find good players in the draft. So I think this was good for the Heat. They're not trying to win an NBA title this year, but they're kind of trying to retool to grab that star maybe in the offseason. That way they can then make a full run at it. So they checked the boxes that they needed to check during this trade. And then you got the Warriors, who are doing exactly what they should do. When you have Steph Curry, the best point guard in the history of basketball, you have to try to contend. And they try to go get Kevin Durant, who would have been a much better fit than Jimmy Butler, but Kevin Durant decided to be Kevin Durant about it. He didn't want to go back. I don't know why he didn't want to go back. In his words, that was the happiest he's ever been playing basketball, why he wouldn't want to return there. I know he and Draymond Green don't really like each other, but you're not winning anything in Phoenix. It's not going to happen. So Kevin Durant didn't want to go back, which means that the Warriors landed Jimmy Butler, who, good player, accomplishes some of what they wanted, but he's just not a very good fit. He's a career 33% three-point shooter. He's shooting 36% from three. This season, it's not great. Jimmy Butler likes to pound the basketball. He wants to take shots from the mid-range, which is not what the Warriors do. They move the basketball. They play with incredible pace in the half court. Ball's constantly moving. Guys are cutting and setting screens and playing together. It's not what Jimmy Butler does. He's, give me the ball, I'm going to go score, and if someone's open, I will make the pass. But everyone just kind of stand around and watch me. That's how the offense can be with him on the floor from time to time. Here's the good side of Jimmy Butler. He's going to be really pissed going to Golden State, and you're going to get the best version of Jimmy Butler this year, or for this run. He's happy because the Warriors gave him that 2-year extension that he was looking for. He's going to be super competitive. He can get his own shot when Steph Curry's off the floor. He can get his own shot when Steph Curry's on the floor. Honestly, there's going to be a ton of space around him, so if he does want to operate from that mid-post, there's going to be space for him to do that. So there are positives to Jimmy's game that will fit well in Golden State. When he wants to be a good defender, we've seen him be a good defender throughout his career. So those are the good sides. But here's the truth of it. Does Jimmy Butler make the Golden State Warriors a contender? Absolutely not. Okay, they're going to be better, but they're not going to be better than the Thunder. They're not better than the Grizzlies. They're not better than, who's the third team? Gosh dang it. They're not better than the Nuggets. I would argue that they're probably just a little bit better than the Rockets because they have two go-to guys offensively, and the Rockets don't really have one. Like, Sengun's really good, but there's some nights where he's great. There's some nights where he's bad. Kind of same thing goes for Jalen Green. But if you wanted to argue with me and say that the Rockets were better, I wouldn't push back on that at all. But the Warriors are better. They're a legitimate playoff team. And when you have Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler on your team in the playoffs, like, you can beat anybody. That's just the reality of the situation. I mean, we saw Jimmy Butler drag Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo to the finals twice in an Eastern Conference where they beat teams that were better than they were. So you got a couple really competitive guys. You have an all-time great in Steph Curry. Like, they can beat anyone because of that. I just don't think that they're going to. The depth just isn't really there. So we'll kind of see how it goes, but good deal for both teams. The Heat, they're retooling. The Warriors, they're giving themselves a chance to compete while Steph Curry is still playing well by bringing in Jimmy Butler, and they didn't have to sacrifice their future in order to do it. Only having to give up one first-round pick is pretty big for them. So that's going to do it for the video. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to check out the video. I'll be back again with some Super Bowl stuff probably tomorrow, and it's going to be good. So subscribe, like the video, do all those things. Thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.